royalty and dined with presidents. She had, in her single-minded pursuit of her career, earned a reputation as a brilliant and temperamental artist. The coolly sexy, passionately driven Vanessa Sexton. Now, at 28, she was coming back to the home of her childhood and to the mother she hadn't seen in 12 years. The burning in her stomach as she pulled up to the curb was so familiar she barely noticed it. Like the town that surrounded it, the home of her youth was much the same as when she'd left it. The sturdy brick had weathered well, and the shutters were freshly painted a deep, warm blue. Along the stone wall that rose above the sidewalk were bushy peonies that would wait another month or more to bloom. Azaleas, in bud, were grouped around the foundation. Vanessa sat, hands clutching the wheel, fighting off a desperate need to drive away. She had already done too much on impulse. She'd bought the Mercedes convertible, driven up from her last booking in D.C., refused dozens of offers for engagements, all on impulse. Throughout her adult life, her time had been meticulously scheduled, her actions carefully executed, and only after all consequences had been considered. Though impulsive by nature, she had learned the importance of an ordered life. Coming here, awakening old hurts and old memories wasn't part of that order. Yet if she turned away now, ran away now, she would never have the answers to her questions even she didn't understand. Deliberately not giving herself any more time to think, she got out of the car and went to the trunk for her suitcases. She didn't have to stay if she was uncomfortable, she reminded herself. She was free to go anywhere. She was an adult, a well-traveled one who was financially secure. Her home, if she chose to make one, could be anywhere in the world. Since her father's death 6 months before, she'd had no ties. Yet it was here she had come, and it was here she needed to be, at least until her questions were answered. She crossed the sidewalk and climbed the 5 concrete steps. Despite the trip hammer beating of her heart, she held herself straight. Her father had never permitted slumped shoulders. The presentation of self was as important as the presentation of music. Chin up, shoulders straight. She started up the walk. When the door opened, she stopped, as if her feet were rooted in the ground. She stood frozen as her mother stepped onto the porch. Images, dozens of them, raced into her mind. Of herself on the first day of school, rushing up those steps full of pride to see her mother standing at the door. Sniffling as she limped up the walk after falling off her bike, her mother there to clean up the scrapes and kiss away the hurt. All but dancing onto the porch after her first kiss, and her mother, a woman's knowledge in her eyes, struggling not to ask any questions. Then there had been the very last time she had stood here, but she had been walking away from the house, not toward it, and her mother hadn't been on the porch waving goodbye. Vanessa. Loretta Sexton stood, twisting her hands. There was no gray in her dark chestnut hair. It was shorter than Vanessa remembered, and fluffed around a face that showed very few lines. A rounder face, softer than Vanessa recalled. She seemed smaller somehow, not shrunken, but more compact, fitter, younger. Vanessa had a flash of her father, thin, too thin, pale, old. Loretta wanted to run to her daughter, but she couldn't. The woman standing on the walk wasn't the girl she had lost and longed for. She looks like me, she thought, battling back tears. Stronger, more sure, but so much like me. Bracing herself, as she had countless times before stepping onto a stage, Vanessa continued up the walk, up the creaking wooden steps, to stand in front of her mother. They were nearly the same height. That was something that jolted them both. Their eyes, the same misty shade of green, held steady. They stood only a foot apart, but there was no embrace. I appreciate you letting me come. Vanessa hated the stiffness she heard in her own voice. You're always